Back to the charts with Big Boss Crypto, bringing you another day trading analysis on Bitcoin and on Chainlink. Bitcoin is finally doing something which could be concerning for all the bulls out there, because we're creating somewhat of a double top formation, which indicates a reversal to the downside. Let's look at the charts. So, stranger things have happened in crypto before, but this could be a double top formation, which we see right here. We created this local high at 48k. We dropped to the downside to, let's say, 41.5k. We had a little reversal to the upside at 43k, and then we reversed from there. So you could possibly say that this was a double top formation, but I wouldn't call it that, because we have this volume candle which has been left alone. Nobody has touched this zone. A lot of open orders in that area. So I do think this could actually be just the first leg down before we have another retrace to the upside to 47k, and then we create a double top formation. That is something I see happening, because you don't usually see that kind of a small retrace to the upside in the double top formation. If we went to, let's say, 45k, that would be pretty reasonable. But we broke this local low here at 41.5k. If we break 40k and grab this volume candle which has been unrecovered at exactly 40k, and move further to the downside, then this is the double top formation we've been waiting for. And we also see that we've tapped into this zone of liquidity a couple of times, but we haven't followed through on the move to the downside. So I do think, that if we break that zone, I would call this a double top formation, and the next target to the downside could be down to 32k, and the next retrace after that 30k, and possibly down to 28k, or even down to 27k, where we possibly will form a double bottom formation and move to the upside again. So I do think the halvening is approaching. This retrace will possibly be the last before we have a pretty intense move to the upside in the coming year. So that is something I'm looking at least. So if you're sidelined, you could wait a little bit more, wait for a 3-step move to the downside, wait for the double bottom confirmation, and then you can load up your bags and ride up to the upside, and we will go a lot higher than we've been before, because they will reduce the interest rates, and by they I talk about the Federal Reserve, which will be kind of the money printer being turned on again, and that will get the money flow into the markets again. But that is something to speak about in the future. Currently we're just kind of seeing the double top confirmation forming, possibly if we break 40k and hold below it. Look at the news events for this week. Not much going on in the coming days. We have the unemployment claims on Thursday. Kind of a slow week. The PC price index on Friday is the big one this week, so they could prepare a move before that on Wednesday or Thursday, but it's kind of a pretty slow week, because next week we have the FOMC funds rate federal press conference on Wednesday, January 31st. So that is the big one coming up next week. Looking at the liquidation map, we see a lot of people going short, thinking that, yeah, we're gonna ride to 12k again. So I do think we could tap into that liquidity, which I spoke about, that this is just the first retrace to the downside. We'll possibly tap into 45k again, where we have a lot of liquidations, and we have the open orders there when we saw the volume candle. So wait and see. If we tap into that zone, we could reverse to the downside again and tap into these liquidations at a big cluster here at 32k, but we have them all the way down. So be careful. This was not financial advice. This is just for educational and entertainment purpose only. Now let's take a look at Chainlink. Despite all the drama with Bitcoin recently, Chainlink hasn't moved that much, either to the upside or to the downside. We had our high here at $17 in December. We retraced 28%. And yeah, Bitcoin kind of went to 45k, or was at 45k recently, and dropped to 40k just now. As you can see, we only dropped 10%. Our Chainlink has dropped 10%. So kind of interesting to see that it's holding steady in this zone right here. But as you know, the market maker structure is always the same. We completed possibly the 3 steps to the upside. We had our first retest to the downside, and we're starting to perform this double top formation. But for that to happen, we need to break $12.5. When we do that on Chainlink, we're having 3 retraces to the downside. So wait for that before you place any short, not financial advice, but that's what I would be looking at. And as I said to you before on Chainlink day trading updates, we were in a zone from $6 to $8.5 for over a year. We finally broke out of it in October last year, and I would say it would be great if we tapped into that zone again. So $8.5 is my target to the downside. It would be great to clear these open orders which the market maker created when we moved out of this zone. It would be great to tap into that liquidity, grab the open orders, fill them, and then move away from there. If or when we do that, it would be the last time you see Chainlink, a single digit Chainlink price. We are going much higher than that in the coming bull run. Not financial advice, but that is something I'm looking at least. It's a great project, so if you manage to get some orders filled below $10, congratulations to you. You're gonna see great gains in the future. Not financial advice, but this is something I'm looking at. Chainlink break $12.5 to the downside. We're going possibly to tap into that single digit zone again. Have a good one. Big Boss out.